Welcome to my channel. I'm Elizabeth and my channel is called Nursing and Makeover. I wanted to film a video about how to pack a really good travel bag. I was thinking of it being the type of bag that can work for a lot of different climates and a lot of different occasions. And as I was thinking about how I was going to film this, I thought of doing it with a really kind of silly / funny twist, which is I'm gonna pack my travel bag and pretend that I'm packing to be a contestant on the show The Bachelor. So I got this idea after watching The Bachelor finale, and I was thinking, like, whenever they film the show, a lot of the times you'll catch little snippets of them doing their makeup or like a little peek into their makeup bag really quickly. And I've always wondered like what they carry, and because I don't think that you're able to necessarily do like much shopping when you're on The Bachelor. So it's like one of those, I mean, what you bring with you is what you bring with you, because I don't think you can like order things or whatever. So the look that I did today is using all of the products that I picked for my travel bag. And then I'm gonna like talk you through why I picked each one. And at the end, I have like a 6 questions I answer that I thought would be funny for me to like play pretend, like pretending that I'm a contestant on The Bachelor. And like, disclaimer, I'm happily married and my husband and I force him to watch The Bachelor with me sometimes. So on my end, it's a happy marriage, but on his end, I don't know. So yes, I am not a contestant on The Bachelor. I'm not trying to be a contestant on The Bachelor or anything like that. I just thought that this would be like a really funny pretend thing to do, and since I'm a fan of the show. But yeah, without any further ado, I want to jump in and I want to start with facial products. So I picked the Makeup Forever Step 1 primer. This primer does a lot of pore filling, and especially if you're going to be outdoors and sweaty, or if you're going to be oily, maybe if you're in like a humid climate, which I feel like The Bachelor almost always ends up in a hot tub, and you almost always end up in a tropical setting at some point. So I really liked this primer because it'll minimize pores. And if you're under bright lighting and being filmed all day, I really don't want my pores to be looking extra or exaggerated. And this, in my experience, has helped prolong my makeup wear. So it's not like my Becca backlight where it's going to make me kind of look a little dewy, which I feel like can read as oily on film. So I thought this would be a really good choice. And yeah, that is going into my travel bag. For my foundation, I want to do the Too Faced Peach Perfect. It says that it's oil-free, 14-hour wear, photo-friendly, oil controlling. So I find this to be all of those things, though I don't really have an issue with oil. I think the thing that is the most noteworthy to me and why I picked this product is that it's the perfect blend of good coverage. So it's not like cakey and super full, but it's not like a tinted moisturizer where you're going to be able to see everything. And I think that this will translate well on camera, particularly Bachelor cameras. Also, with it being comfort matte, it does have sweet fig cream, and it says it's infused with peach, so it's like scented, but I feel like it's very hydrating for a matte foundation. And with that in mind, I did also choose to do the Buxom Divine Goddess Illuminizer. So I like to mix these two products together, and it gives me like a very slightly dewy finish. It just really ends up making me look quite hydrated, and I never feel like this dries my skin out, and I'm really big on moisturizing. So these two products together, I think, are definitely a solid choice for being like your skin, but much better on camera. For my concealer, I picked the Too Faced Born This Way. I'm in the shade Fair, but I feel like this is almost a little too light for me, but it does brighten my under eye a lot. So I picked this, and it was a hard time for me to decide between the Born This Way and the Tarte Shape Tape, because Shape Tape is such amazing coverage, but for me at least, it really makes my under eye look dry. So I like this one because it's good coverage, but a little more hydrating. and it's very true to color. It doesn't oxidize or darken. I definitely think this is a good choice. Good coverage without being cakey and creasy. And then I picked cream contour, which is a little extra, but because I would be being filmed, you know what I mean? Like, I really want my skin to look good. So I picked Rihanna's Fenty Beauty line, and I chose the Linen Matchstick, which is like a cream tone, like bright highlighter for fair to light skin tones, and then the Amber Matchstick, which is a super cool tone contour. So this is not a bronzer. This is not going to be like red toned or anything like that. It's like a true cool contour. So I love this product. And together I feel like I'm able to do contouring that looks pretty natural, but is just like adding a little extra to my face makeup. And I love these products, and they magnetize. So they're really nice for travel. So already I have a lot of space still in my travel bag, but my goal is to make the travel bag something that's not like too full, and it can like squish down and everything. So I'm really proud over how much space is going to be left in this bag, basically. So I picked a face palette by NARS. This is the Narcissist Cheek Studio palette. And I picked this for a few reasons. So it's like a pretty nice, sleek design. It's also very sturdy, so I feel like if your luggage gets tossed around or something like that, it's got a really good chance of surviving that. And the powders are not so soft that like a little tap and they just crack or something. But then the other perk is that it has, and I'm like hesitant to show, but it has like this full mirror. So I would want to make sure, like a rule of thumb for travel is that I don't want to count on the place I'm going to have a great mirror. I really like to have my own good mirror and then set up shop, so to speak, to do my makeup by a window so I have good natural light, because I feel like lighting is really tough to replicate when you're traveling. So just natural light's the best. Also, if I was in the Bachelor Mansion, I would want to make sure I'm not having to fight for time over the mirror with all of the other girls in the house. So I'd have my own mirror in my cheek palette or my face palette. This is the shade right here, by the way. This is like the Paloma Duo. I would use this shade to set my eyeshadow, to set my under eye concealer, and to do any powder highlighting or setting my cream contour highlight. And then the Paloma shade is a little warm tone for my preference for contour, so I would use this more so for bronzing. But Laguna is like my favorite shade for setting my cream contour and also for bronzing. So depending on my mood, I may bronze with either of these shades, but I would definitely contour with Laguna. And then all of these choices for blushes are really awesome because I can do like deeper, more romantic tones, or I can do like a light tone, which is really, this color here like brightens my skin a lot. It makes me look very like young and happy. And then this shade has some shimmer in it, but it's a nice tone that plays really well with the bronzer. So if I was going for like a, I'm not wearing blush, but I want to look healthy, I would pick this shade. And I mean, if I really wanted to, I could use any of these on my eyes too. So I felt like this was a really good multi-purpose palette, and I was sold on the mirror. So that is what I would do for my main face palette. And then, because I love highlight, probably too much, I picked the NARS Banque de Sable palette, which is like, I'm sorry to use limited edition products, but truly this is like my favorite highlight palette for travel, because it has these beautiful, beautiful different highlight shades. So it's got your rose gold, which is a little deep for my skin tone, but this blends out really nicely. So like, I thought I would not be able to wear this on my skin, but if you blend it out, you get a really pretty sheen and it buffs out nicely. Then this like champagne gold is just like your quintessential perfect highlight tone, and this like creamy kind of pearl tone is very bright. You can use it for your inner corner, and I love to use it on my cheeks as well. So today I'm wearing a combination of these two shades, but if I got a little bit of a tan, I mean, I would be doing a combination of these two shades. So for eyes, I decided to do my MAC Paint Pot and Painterly, because especially when I travel and my eyes get kind of red and puffy, I have really sensitive dry eyes. And the Paint Pot is sort of like using concealer almost for an eye primer because it negates the redness and like the bluey green or red tones that I get in really tired eyes or jet lagged eyes. So I wouldn't want any of that showing up on camera, even if I was just doing my paint pot with like a really subtle eyeshadow shade. So this was my go-to for my eye primer. And then for my eyeshadow palette, and I really debated over this, like I at first was thinking the Jaclyn Hill palette, but I freaked out because I was like, A, that's a huge palette that's gonna be tough to travel with. B, it doesn't have a mirror. C, there's so many choices that I'm gonna end up opening it and being like, oh, like, what do I do? There's too much to wear. So I, spoiler alert, more NARS, decided to do the Narcissus Loaded palette, and this I think is limited edition, but it's still available. So this palette might not look like much, but I have traveled with it a lot. I love it. It has a combination of, like, I can do warm tone neutral looks, I can do cool tone neutral looks. It has a really nice kind of orangey shade, which I'm wearing today, and a really beautiful gold shade. And these to me are two of the like kind of more fun colors that I will incorporate into an overall neutral look, and it includes those. And then the other thing that I think is really awesome about this palette is that it has a dark, super dark brown that I use as a liner, and I'm wearing as a liner today. And it has a really beautiful black. So you can do like a great smoky eye with this, or you could use it with a liner brush and have black liner that's not super harsh, or it's like more of a romantic black liner. And then over here is more like the neutrals, and this is a really great shimmer that's awesome for using for a highlight. These mattes right here and right here and right here, and even that one, these would be beautiful to just put all over the lid and buff out. This is the one that I sometimes set my eyeshadow with, like my eye primer with. And this is my perfect transition shade for my skin tone. But there's a lot of different tones in here that would be pretty for a transition shade depending on how deep your skin tone is. So after like definitely thinking through it a lot, I think this would be my Bachelor palette. And this has definitely been my travel palette. I did pull one Stila glitter because I thought it would be really fun for group dates or one-on-ones or just like a special night out, like a date night or something. This would be a way to jazz up my neutral palette without having to bring in an extra palette or do loose glitter and glitter glue. Then for my liners, I have 3 options. One is a liner brush. This is by Sigma, and it is a winged liner brush, and I just want to compare it to a typical liner brush. You can see how much smaller this one is. This is my, let me make sure you can actually see it. Yeah, this is my go-to liner brush if I'm using cream liner or if I'm doing liner with shadow. So when I was talking about how these 2 shades can be used as liners, this is the brush I was referring to using. And this brush and this shadow are what I'm wearing on my eyes today as liner. I'm not wearing any other liner. I chose the Bare Minerals Lasting Lines so that I can tightline, and if I wanted a dark waterline, I could use this pencil. You can use this to just line your eyes and smudge it out, but I usually don't because I'm using liquid liner or I'm using shadows. I typically do 2 liquid liners whenever I line my eyes, but I was only letting myself pick one of each specific category, so I went with the Urban Decay 24/7 waterproof liquid eyeliner in shade Perversion. And the reason that I love this product is that the brush is like a super fine point. So I have always kind of struggled with liquid liner. I mean, I've always done liquid liner. It's typically my go-to, but it's been a lot thicker than I wanted it to be. And this product allows me to get a really thin and precise line on each side. So this would be my go-to liquid liner. For my brows, I would do a powder brow because I feel like it looks the most natural, but it also is very, you can make it bold, it can be on the more natural side, but it's usually something that just looks so soft and romantic. I chose the Brow Gal by Tanya Crooks. So I like to use a combination of these two colors on my brows, and then I use the accompanying brow brush, which has a nice spoolie, and this uh, brow or liner brush is really well suited for my brows and just for getting like the brow look that I'm going for. For my mascara, I would pick the It Superhero in Super Black. This is just a classic mascara that gives me volume, gives me great pigment, darkens my lashes, and it makes my lashes look a lot longer. And I don't favor wearing false lashes, and I particularly don't like to wear them on vacation because I feel like I'm always worried that I'm gonna be like losing one in a photo or something. And this gives me that effect that I want without me having to wear falsies. So for lip products, I picked liquid lips, and I decided to go with a night lip or like a fancy lip, and then an everyday lip. So today I'm wearing the everyday lip, which is ColourPop's Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Aquarius. And this color is kind of like a peachy neutral. It's like a peachy pink brown. And I feel like this wears so well on my skin tone. I think that if you were fair, this would wear nicely, and if you're medium tone, I think it would wear nicely. I don't know how it would wear on a darker, richer skin tone, but this for me is my go-to. Like, it matches with every look I do. It's not gonna dominate a look, but it makes my lips look nicer, and it's just like, if I don't know what lip to pair with a look, I go with Aquarius because I just know it'll look good. And I picked a lip liner. I picked Kat Von D's Everlasting liquid or lip liner in Lolita. So Lolita is like it's almost actually like a perfect match for Aquarius, but it's a deeper rose tone, and I really liked that because if I cover my lips in Lolita, then I can get a rosier toned lip and just wear the lip liner, or I can do that and add Aquarius in the center and kind of do like a subtle ombre, or I can just line my lips and do Aquarius and they match well enough that it's like giving me a little lip dimension or almost like lip contouring, but they're two distinct colors that pair together nicely. My like other lip product I initially picked was a lipstick bullet because I was like, all right, I've picked a liquid lip, now I need to pick like a traditional lipstick. But then I was like, then I'd have to carry it with me, I'd have to be reapplying it a lot. If I like kiss someone, then like it's probably gonna transfer. And I will say the satin lip will transfer, but this is like a pretty neutral tone, so if it does transfer or smudge some, it's not going to be as obvious. But with a red lip, it is obvious. So I did want to do the Rihanna, I have it sitting up on my shelf, but it's like the Fenty Beauty, I think it's called like Uncensored, but it's supposed to be like the universal red for everyone because it's such a pretty shade, but it's not transfer proof. So that is like a huge deal breaker for me with a red lip, because if you're gonna put a red lip on, you really don't want it moving around at all on your face when you're eating or if like you're kissing or whatever. So I said no to the Rihanna one and said yes to this Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lip in Seraphine. So this is a beautiful red. Like, it's deep, but it's not like a Christmas red deep. It's a little, like, it's not cherry red. It's a blue tone red, so it'll make your teeth look whiter, which is nice. But I think this is a beautiful tone, but it'll stay put. Like, this is not going to be budging. It's going to be kiss proof. It's really a nice option. And I wanted to have a red lip so that on days that say like I woke up and I don't feel like doing a full eye look, but I want to look put together, I could do one neutral eyeshadow shade, do a black cat eye, and do a red lip and have like a very kind of like French girl look. Or I could do a bold smoky eye and a red lip and have a really nice date night look. I also picked the Agave lip mask. This is by Bite Beauty. I love this, and I have really dry lips, so this would be in my purse, and this would be something I use every night, and I would always have this with me on the go. And the setting spray I'd take is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This stuff works phenomenally. It prolongs the wear of my makeup. It makes it not run, so if I'm in a sweaty climate, it'll stay in place. If I'm working out, my makeup will stay in place. If I'm crying most of the time, as long as I'm not wearing like non-waterproof mascara, this all my makeup will be flawless. There are a few other things I picked and they're makeup tools. So like I would pick the Surrett Beauty lash curler. This is the only lash curler I use, and if you watch my videos and you see me curl my lashes, this is the curler I'm using. I mean, it gives me this impressive curl that almost makes me not have to wear mascara. Then I picked a beauty blender. So this is how I would apply my foundation, and this would be how I would buff out my cream contour and my concealer. For brushes, I would only pick 2 brushes, technically 3 if you count the liner brush, but 2 brushes for my eyes. One is a flat shader, and this is just a Sephora cream shadow. So it's nice and flat for packing down powder. It's got a little bit of a fluff to the end, so if I wanted to do like some small detail blending, I could, and I can use it to smoke the under eye. And then I picked a Luxie tapered blending brush. This is one of my go-tos for blending. It's soft and fluffy. It gives me really beautiful blends, and it makes blending very straightforward, simple, easy, and I love it. For blush and bronzer, I would pick the Japanesque this is the Kumadori brush. It is like kind of a dupe for a NARS brush. It has synthetic fibers that feel like natural fibers, so it picks up a lot of product and like very softly buffs it into the skin, and it's also very travel friendly. Then I would pick this setting brush by Real Techniques that I would use for both highlighter, and I could use it for even blush if I wanted to, just if I wanted to like be a little more precise with my blush application. Or if I wanted to do any contouring too, I can use this for that. And then the double-ended Kat Von D Shade and Light contour brush so that I could apply my setting powder, set my eye. I could blush with this as well, and then obviously contour with this beautiful, like, perfect tapered contour brush. And this brush is super soft, and I love that it's double-ended for travel so that you don't have to pack as many brushes. My rose water, but I would pour this into a flight-friendly container so that I can wet any of my shadows. In a pinch, I could even wet my beauty blender if I need to, and I can just mist my face if I'm feeling overheated. And then I would also pick my brush switch. So this is how I can make it possible to do a eye look like this one with only 2 brushes. So today when I did my makeup, I literally only used these 2 brushes, but I used my brush switch, so I was able to clean off any excess old product before dipping into a new shade. This is everything that I would pack in my travel bag. That is makeup. I didn't include skincare. If you are interested in seeing what I would pack for skincare for travel, let me know, because I do have room in my travel bag for it. The final thing that I want to do with this video is, it wasn't like super Bachelor related. I pretty much just showed you how I did my travel bag, but I have questions at the end that I thought would be funny for me pretending like I'm on The Bachelor. So the ways that, and to be honest, the ways that this makeup like all related to me being on The Bachelor is that I was trying to pick stuff that would look good in any situation, any activity, and are like those quintessential kind of like romantic date night looks that are not like, hey, I did a bright turquoise eye. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna appreciate that but me. So I tried to pick like the real crowd pleasers that are like the things I know look great. But the last addition to making this Bachelor video is that I picked out 6 questions, and these are like purely meant for fun. So if you're not into this, you can just skip, but if you're a Bachelor fan, you might think this is funny. So my first question is, how would I exit the limo? Which, knowing my personality type, exiting the limo would be my nightmare. Like, I would want to just tell the driver, like, keep driving. I don't want to get out of the car. And if you don't watch The Bachelor, exiting the limo is the first time that you meet the Bachelor if you're a female contestant. So most people will try and make themselves kind of memorable, like they'll like sing a song or tell a joke or do something kind of witty. And I like am paralyzed just thinking about doing that. Like, I'm like, what would I do? Offer to do his makeup? Like, no. So the thing that I would most likely do is bring my stethoscope, because I'm a nurse, and I would put it into my little like clutch and then take it out and say something kind of cheesy like, I can promise not to break your heart. And maybe one day I could save it. Which sounds really lame. He would probably be like, maybe I would think of something different when I got out of the car. Maybe I would just be like, I don't know. But yes, that is my limo exit. Ooh, messed up the scope. So the next question is, what would I wear? So I would definitely have my hair down. I'd want to have like big barrel waves that are very like beachy and relaxed. I would want to have that, like the makeup look that I did today is pretending that I was coming out on The Bachelor today. And then the outfit that I would want to wear, which most people wear evening gowns, like prom type dresses or like formal wear, I would want to wear a jumpsuit that is like spaghetti straps with cutouts and like a sweetheart neckline. And it would be like kind of like satiny and black. So I'm going to try and find like I feel like I've seen this on a celebrity. I'm going to see if I can insert like a shot of what I'm talking about. But I would want something that's just like classic with an edge. Next question. Am I here for the right reasons? Which is like such a quintessential Bachelor thing to be like, she's not here for the right reasons, or like, he's here for the wrong reasons or something. So in this day and age, I feel like you can't go on a show like that without recognizing that like your social media platforms are going to be affected. So I would want to be supporting things that are important to me. Number one being raising awareness about cancer. Number two being raising awareness about women's rights. And number three being going on like a platform for anti-bullying and just being kind. So I would want to have those three things. And then like, I'd love to have my social media brand grow, but I would want to make sure my brand incorporates those three things. But with that said, am I there for the right reasons? I wouldn't go on the show if I wasn't open to love. So like, I would be critical of it. I'd be one of those types who's like, I don't think this is gonna work. Like, I just don't see how this would work. But if the guy clicked with me, like if we clicked, I would stay in it and like be there for the reason of us like progressing our relationship. Number 4, would I kiss on the first night? I don't think that I would, because I think I'd be too nervous and feeling kind of awkward and getting that anxiety of like, I'm meeting a ton of new people and that is an overwhelming situation for me. And I know that like kissing on the first night is like a guaranteed way to get yourself on TV and to like, it definitely catches attention, but I feel like it would be so awkward. Like I'd be like, wait, come back. I was trying to give you a kiss. And then I'd be like bolting out the door. Like, I don't need a rose. I'm just going to see myself out. But yeah, I don't think I'd kiss on the first night. Then next question, what type of edit would I get? So like edit, I mean by that, like, would I be the villain? Would I be like the funny girl? Would I be the like daddy issue? I don't know. So I think I would probably get like, probably not a ton of airtime. Hopefully you wouldn't forget I was there, but I think that the producers would find out that like cutting to my face for a reaction shot would be gold. Like, it's really tough for me to hide my feelings in the moment. And if someone said something bizarre, or if the Bachelor did something wild, or if like one of the Bachelorettes is just being really aggressive, I would be like, what? Like, I feel like I would be rolling my eyes and looking shocked and just like looking around and laughing at people like, come on guys, like, isn't this insane? So I think I would get that kind of edit. And I also think, to be perfectly honest, the producers would be like, Elizabeth, could you stop crunching food into your microphone? We're trying to film a conversation here and we can't do that because all you're doing is eating. And I would probably get caught having weird conversations, like being like, why did I eat that whole meal? Why am I so bloated? Is there more cheese? So that would probably be my edit. People would be like, this girl eats a ton and whoa, look at her facial expressions. So the final question I had would be, how far do I think I would make it in a show like The Bachelor? So I don't think I'd make it very far because of me being kind of slow to warm up and shy. But if I clicked with the guy, I feel like I would try and just be a little open and like be myself and let like the fun parts of my personality be present. So maybe I would stick around a little bit, but I don't think my personality is suited for a show like The Bachelor. However, my personality is definitely suited to watching The Bachelor. Like, I love watching it. I don't think it would ever work for me, and I don't think that I would last on the show. But if I play pretend, since obviously I am playing pretend here, and my husband was The Bachelor, ooh, then I would like, oh my gosh, I'd be so taken with him, and I would be like, oh, I'd be so heartbroken that he feels all those other girls. So maybe I'd stick around. I don't know, maybe he'd pick me. I hope so. But I feel like I would, my goal would be to not cry if I got eliminated, which I'm sure I would. And I thought about like carrying around like a fake rose in like my back pocket so that whenever the bachelor tells me like, I can't give you the final rose, I'd be like, well, that's okay. I brought my own rose and I'm gonna see myself out now. And I feel like whenever they like record you leaving and you get to say your final words, I'd be like, well, I had a lot of great food and I made a lot of great friends and well, that's it. Okay, so those are my silly like pretend hypothetical questions on if I was ever a Bachelor contestant, which I absolutely would not be because I am happily married, but I love a good game of pretend and just like, I thought that this was kind of funny as a huge Bachelor fan. So let me know what you think in the comments and I hope to see you in a future video. Yeah, and let me know what you would pack in your travel bag, because whether or not I was going to be on The Bachelor, this is pretty much my travel bag. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.